Good morning and welcome to the Hoosier Huddle pregame show. I'm Sammy Jacobs here live at Ross-Ade Stadium in West Lafayette for the old Oak and Bucket game between Indiana and Purdue. Both teams coming in at 5-6, needing a win to go to a bowl game. Stakes couldn't be higher. It's the first time ever that both teams come in needing the win to get to a bowl matchup. IU has won 4 straight in the series, have never won 5 in a row, and you know that Purdue is going to come in, play really hard, really emotional football, trying to get this bucket back to West Lafayette for the first time for these seniors. Indiana will hopefully crawl tooth and nail to keep the bucket in Bloomington for the 5th year in a row. You know, the stakes couldn't be higher. Beautiful weather here in West Lafayette. It's chilly, sunny, not a cloud in the sky. Beautiful football weather. So let's talk a little bit about today's matchup between Indiana and Purdue. One of our matchups to watch to our Alex Compton, who wrote it this week, was Elijah Sindelar against IU's second cornerback. Purdue will probably keep the ball away from Rashard Fant, who has had a great season despite not having the numbers. Teams have stayed away from him. He's had an interception, a fumble recovery the last 2 weeks. Could have had 3 interceptions at Illinois, settled for 1. So they'll stay away from him, but they'll attack that other IU corner position. It looks Andre Brown could be back, but if not, it's Ashawn Riggins. Raheem Lane started last week. He's a true freshman, so look for Elijah Sindelar to pick on that position. It's going to be huge. If Indiana can shut down that other side of the field, they'll have a successful day on defense, and then hopefully your offense score enough points to get out of here with a win. Some keys to the game. Indiana's defense, getting pressure on Elijah Sindelar is going to be key. Once again, the last 2 weeks, Indiana's defense has been flying around. Lots of sacks. I believe they've had 12 or 13 sacks over the last 2 weeks. Greg Gooch and Robert McCray, Alan Stallings have been playing well. So has Jacob Robinson, Nate Hoff, guys in the middle. This defensive line, coached by Mark Hagan, has been outstanding the last couple weeks and have keyed some great defensive performances for the Hoosiers. On offense for Indiana, establishing the run is going to be key. If you could become two-dimensional like you did last week against Rutgers, this offense is pretty hard to stop. Morgan Elson and Cole Guest have been terrific over the last 2 weeks. 131 combined yards at Illinois, over 230 combined yards last week against Rutgers. We'll see. Can they do it again? It's up to this offensive line to open holes for them. The offensive line played great last week, went player of the week as a unit last week, and then keeping Richard Lago up and clean is another key. If you can keep them clean in the pocket, they should have success in the passing game with Simi Cobbs at receiver, Taysir Mack. Wap Filliers having a great second half of the season. Luke Timian has become the go-to guy, reliable guy, and Ian Thomas is back at 100%. So if Richard Lago has time in the pocket, he should be able to pick apart Purdue's defense. Purdue likes to blitz. Their defense has been the key to their turnaround this year. They went from ranked about 100th, 120th. Now they're up as a top 40 defense. Nick Holt has done a terrific job with the Boilermaker defense. Jawan Bentley's a great linebacker. Marcus Bailey, who had a big game against Indiana last week, is a very good player. Only a sophomore. Then you have Jalen Robinson in the middle. Danny Easy-Chukwu at defensive end, and this defense has a lot of playmakers in the front 7. So it'll be up to Indiana to protect Richard Lago, open some holes in a running game where it's going to be a tough day to run for Indiana. But if you could become two-dimensional, it's that much harder to defend. On special teams, I think Indiana has the advantage there. Purdue has missed a combined 10 field goals this year between their 2 kickers. Griffin Oakes has had just the 1 block against Michigan. He's been terrific on both field goal attempts and on kickoffs as well. There is a slight breeze, as you can see. My stuff is blowing around. Flags in the background are blowing. It's not a stiff breeze. It's nowhere near as bad as it was last week, either at Iowa City or in Bloomington, where both teams played in gale force winds. But there is a breeze. The field looks to be in good shape behind us. It is a grass field today, so it's something a little different. Indiana played it on grass fields at Michigan State and at Virginia, split those games, but we're looking for a close game today. Both teams are going to come out fired up, and controlling your emotions is going to be, the final key of the game. Which team, does a stupid penalty because of those emotions? That could be the difference in the game. A personal foul here, personal foul there, things like that. This is a heated rivalry. Both schools don't like each other. And it should be a good crowd today. A lot of emotions. Everybody's going to be fired up. So be in store for a good one. If you can't watch the game, it's a noon kick on ESPN2. If you can't watch the game, we'll be live tweeting it on Twitter at Hoosier_Huddle. So we'll start our live tweeting about 11:45 Eastern time. Come to HoosierHuddle.com. We have all our pregame stuff. We have our pregame primer that was out yesterday. Has all our links to all our stories from the week, matchups to watch, inside the numbers, and more. So come back to HoosierHuddle.com. Enjoy today's game. This is what college football is all about. Two hated rivals going at each other for a bowl bid and a trophy. So it's going to be a terrific day for football. Thanks for joining us on the pregame show. That does it for the final regular season edition of the Hoosier Huddle pregame show. Thanks for joining us all season. We appreciate your readership and support. And we'll talk to you after the game. Hopefully a victorious postgame show for the Indiana Hoosiers this afternoon.